is KGW News at Sunrise.
I implore any students who are involved, who are in the library right now, to please leave the library peacefully.
That's the president of Portland State University after students, staff, and community members protesting the war in Gaza began occupying the university's library. Our Devin Haskins will have the latest live from PSU coming up in just a few minutes.
And a pretty rough trip for a cat who wound up in an Amazon return box. Luckily, she's okay. Coming up, we'll have more on her stressful experience.
We're also asking this question this morning. Got milk? In fact, we do have milk. Got a lamb? Yep, we've got one of those too. Here you go, little lamb. Would you like some breakfast this morning? I got the bottle. It's up this way. It's up this way. Oh, there's the bottle. We have a connection. A connection has been made. We are live in McMinnville this morning, checking out the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center. Okay, save some for later. Save some for later, because we have a lot to do here this morning. We are just getting going. Inside the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center, China, Christine, Rod, and Chris, this is basically a step back in time to the way things used to be done out on the farm, including the way they used to make the butter. So we're gonna do some butter churning, we're gonna do some blacksmithing, we're going to do some draft horse plowing, all leading up to FarmFest this Saturday. That's it for now, gang. Back to you.
Okay. Hey, I'm glad they're going to be putting you to work churning that butter. We'll check in with Drew in a bit. Glad you're here with us on this Tuesday morning. Lots to get to. Let's begin with weather. Yeah. Rod, what's it looking like?
You know, Timberline picked up 18 inches of snow over the past 24 hours. 18
wow.
inches?
You forecasted that.
I mean, were you surprised? I thought that storm just blew up there, how much they got. Chris was like, I knew it all along.
It was a good day.
Boy, I shouldn't have asked, should I? Now I look like the fool. All right, they could be looking at another, 8 inches up there today. So big time winter weather, including snow over the Cascade Passes again this morning. Now, right now, up and down I-5, we're kind of in a little dry window, but you saw more rain coming off to the west. There's the snow in the air up at Timberline, 21 degrees. Down low, we're at 45. Today's very similar to yesterday. Yesterday we had hail and we had reports of thunder. The chances of both, I think, are heightened today. So watch out for some heavy showers. 52 at noon. 57 would equal yesterday's high temperature. I got that one right. We said 57 yesterday. Here's Chris.
Good job, Rod. All right, let's go ahead and get you out the door. Quick look at the drive out of Clark County. I see some breaks in the clouds there and a mostly dry stretch of road on that segment of the freeway, but we go over to the west side, and this is Highway 26 out near 217. You can see obviously the roads are pretty wet there. I-5 through the 205 interchange in Tualatin, that looks good. No major trouble on the roads, but as Rod mentioned, as you go up in elevation, this is the live look at Government Camp. It is snowing up there and will snow on and off throughout the day, so be aware of that, guys.
Yeah, thanks for that info, Chris. This morning, protesters continue to occupy the Miller Library on the Portland State University campus. A group broke in yesterday afternoon protesting the war in Gaza.
And police are estimating that about 50 to 75 people are currently inside right now. Devin Haskins is live outside the library. Devin, what are you seeing?
Yeah, right now. So when we first showed up, you can see some of the signs out front. You see a couple garbage cans there with Free Gaza spray painted on them. On the windows of the library, there's some sheets or curtains that are drawn as well. Haven't seen really anybody inside from what we can see from our limited vantage point right now. But police and PSU asking those inside to leave peacefully before police intervene. Police have said that they're working with campus police to end this occupation, but did not have a timeline of when that would be. Protests on the campus have been happening over the last couple of days, but it was yesterday afternoon that protesters took a peaceful rally up a notch and broke into the campus library and barricaded themselves inside. The group wants PSU to cut ties with Boeing, which has reportedly been providing military help to Israel. The PSU library is a recipient of a Boeing donation. The university said it will pause all gifts coming from the company until further discussions can take place. So far, the damage done amounts to lots of spray paint and graffiti inside the library and outside of it. Here's PSU President Ann Cudd at a press conference late last night, followed by a student protester KGW talked with on campus.
Emotions are running high. Many feel that the injustices are just too large to ignore. And I understand this, but I cannot condone or excuse breaking and entering. I cannot condone the property damage that has taken place at PSU's library.
The time for conversation has absolutely passed. This campaign has been ongoing for 8 years. It is 200 plus days into the most documented genocide in history. It is not an opportunity for conversation right now. It is time for action.
District Attorney Mike Schmidt said that his office would prosecute anyone doing criminal activity that refused to leave, going as far as saying that some of those charges could be felony. Again, right now, this ongoing situation is something we'll be keeping on top of throughout the morning, and we're still waiting to see if and when police would intervene. Back to you.
Devin, thank you for your reporting there on the PSU campus this morning. Meantime, some students at the University of Washington are also joining in on the nationwide pro-Palestinian movement, setting up an encampment at the center of campus. Dozens of people from the school's Progressive Student Union say they don't plan to leave anytime soon. They're demanding an end to U.S. military aid to Israel. They're also demanding that the university divest from Israel and cut ties with Boeing due to its defense unit and military work.
We're out here fighting for a free Palestine. I think that a lot of people are viewing this as sort of just like a few students are having some fun right before the end of classes, but no, we've been out here fighting not just for the past few months, but for years now at this university for this campaign.
But not all students on the Seattle campus there agree with the demonstrations. Some Jewish students say they don't feel safe on campus. Our sister station in Seattle spoke with the co-president of the group Students Supporting Israel at UW.
Do you feel safe on campus? No, I do not feel safe on campus. I have been called names. I have been spit at. I have been laughed at. It is a very, very visceral feeling in me when somebody tells me to go back to the gas chambers.
A University of Washington spokesperson says they're keeping an eye on the protests and camp.
Today is the deadline to register for the Oregon primary. And a heads up, Oregon is a closed primary state, meaning you have to be registered as either Republican or Democrat in order to vote in any of the upcoming partisan races. And that includes votes for things like congressional seats and state offices. You can register or update your registration either in person or online at OregonVotes.gov. And you can expect to see your ballot in your mailbox as soon as tomorrow. The primary is on Tuesday, May 21st. And for more election coverage, you can text the word VOTE to the number there on your screen, 503-226-5088. We'll text you with links to our stories featuring the top races in Portland area and statewide.
Today, the Oregon Public Utility Commission is hosting a public virtual event so people can weigh in on Pacific Power's proposed 17.9% rate hike. The utility company provides power to more than 600,000 customers in Oregon. If approved, the average residential customer could see their power bill go up by about $30 a month. Today's virtual meeting will go from 6 to 7 p.m. You can find more details on the Public Utility Commission's website. That is oregon.gov/PUC.
Now to an update on a story that we first brought to you as breaking news during sunrise yesterday. An investigation is now underway to figure out what caused that train derailment on the Steel Bridge. In total, 5 Union Pacific cars derailed. One of the 5 cars leaned along one of the bridge's supporting beams, prompting the bridge to shut down for hours. Now it finally reopened at about 11 yesterday morning after ODOT and Union Pacific deemed it safe. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
Okay, for this next story, I'm actually pretty surprised that this is the first time we're hearing of something like this happening, because one couple's cat was mistakenly shipped from Utah to California in an Amazon return package. Carrie Clark and her husband say their cat Galena disappeared without a trace. Then a week later, they got a call that she'd been found more than 600 miles away, all the way in Cali. Turns out Galena climbed into a large package meant to be returned and got sealed inside. She survived, though, 6 days without food or water. An Amazon worker helped care for Galena and took her to the vet. Her owners say she's skinnier, but doing just fine. And you know, cats are so curious, which is why I'm like, wow, this is the first time I'm actually hearing about this.
Wow, so what I got out of that story was take a trip, lose some weight, come back looking great.
Wow, is that what you got out of that one?
That's what I got out of the story.
That's all that matters.
Here's a look at our winter weather advisory. Second straight morning, we've seen this up in the Cascades in white. And, you know, this is I need to look at my record to see if I can find it, but this is the biggest snowfall we've had up there in quite some time. Certainly this month of April, I think that's safe to say. There's another low that's moving inland this morning. You can see the snow over the Cascade passes. I mean, Meadows is no longer open during the weekdays, only on the weekends. So Timberline is open, though, daily for skiing and boarding. The bigger story for most of us is the fact that if you're traveling over the Cascades, you'll find snow-covered passes up there. A lot of rain up towards Seattle. You get down into southern Oregon, you kind of start to run out of it. Right now, dry in downtown Portland, but you can see all the rain off to the west. Some breaks in the cloud cover up top, 45. On paper, today's system looks to be not as wet as yesterday's was, but we'll see. It certainly contains a potential of heavy downpours at times. Here are the current numbers. 45 Astoria, Portland's about the same. Well, Portland is the same, 45. The Dow's 41. And we're colder out east this morning. Look at Bend, John Day, Baker City, all in the 20s. Burns is at 18. Here's Futurecast at 8:30 this morning. Watching out for a heightened chance today of more of the showers being downpours with hail and maybe some rumbles of thunder. And weather models for a while now have been saying somewhere around 11 o'clock or noon, we get a little explosion coming through the North Valley of quite a few hefty showers, some hail, and maybe some rumbles of thunder. So right about the noon hour, we'll look to see if that happens. Now notice, like yesterday, if you folks are watching us from the coast, good morning. You dry out and your afternoon's pretty quiet. We saw really a pretty nice sunny afternoon at the beach yesterday. It could happen again today. Now overnight tonight, everything goes away. We wake up to the first day of May tomorrow morning as being dry. And then what's changed as a forecaster is the timing of everything is sped up. So this is tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening. This was overnight into Thursday morning rain, but now it's tomorrow evening, tomorrow overnight rain that's mostly gone by Thursday. So all of a sudden your Thursday plans are looking pretty good. All right, this shows 4 inches of new snow today expected at pass level. If that's true, you'd have about 8 up at Timberline of new snow today. 57 for high, so we stay cool. Normal daytime high is well up into the 60s this time of the year. And then tomorrow, it's that evening shower chance. Thursday could be mainly dry. This is another change. Friday was dry and 70. Now it's afternoon rain arrives in 64. Showers on Saturday look to be more likely, and then Sunday we have scattered showers. So Drew, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm always surprised when we send the Philadelphia, the big city guy, out to the farm, and that's what we've done this morning, sir.
And I'm always surprised when I'm actually doing real work during these segments. As you know, Rod, I don't really like to work up a sweat during the Sunrise show, but my goodness, we are working hard on this Tuesday morning, churning butter, my friend. One of the activities you can do for yourself out here this weekend at the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center during FarmFest. I've got Cynthia here with me. She's teaching me the ways of butter making. Do we have butter already? Let's see. Oh, we're darn close. Butter is a-coming here this morning. We'll complete the butter churning process next with more details on FarmFest in just a second.